The president's immigration agenda facing legal battles. The Justice Department requesting for the Supreme Court to reject the pause on deportations. This following the Supreme Court blocking the administration's efforts to deport Venezuelan migrants under that 18th century Alien Enemies Act. The Supreme Court saying the deportations can only continue when there has been due process. The immigration cases of these four people are in the spotlight. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, Rumeysa Ozturk, Mahmoud Khalil, and a person only identified by their initials in court documents. The initials are YSM. Each have different situations, but all testing the limits of Trump's authority. The case of Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man mistakenly deported by the administration to an El Salvadorian prison, has both sides clashing over due process and national security concerns. Here to discuss is GOP strategist Janelle King and Democratic strategist Mally Smith. Hello to both of you and happy Easter.
Thanks for having us.
Of course.
Happy resurrection to you.
Janelle, I'll start with you. Why is the Trump administration doubling down on not following court orders and bringing Abrego Garcia back to the States?
You know, I hate to put words in anyone's mouth, so I don't want to speculate exactly on why they're doing that. But I do want to state that I think the president understands that the American people want to see mass deportations. It's something that 60% of Americans put on the agenda, America's agenda, and that's what he's sticking to. The fact of the matter is we are now facing a situation where I think that our justice system, maybe our judicial branch may be looking at things through the lens of empathy rather than through the lens of justice. And that's something that I am personally focusing on. I think that we have to consider all angles, but when you start looking at cases such as Filer versus Doe, where they passed a ruling that said that illegal immigrant children can now be educated in our public school system without considering the effect of the school system, that's when we have to start asking questions about whether or not empathy is getting ahead of justice.
Well, I think a lot of people are also concerned about due process in our country. Democratic Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen visited Abrego Garcia in El Salvador. President Trump slammed the trip. He called the senator a fool. When asked about Abrego Garcia's alleged association to the gang, MS-13, here's what the senator said.
I didn't ask him that because I know what his answer is. What he told me was he was sad and traumatized that he was being in prison because he has committed no crimes. And that goes to the heart of this issue because he's being denied his due process rights. And Donald Trump is trying to change the subject.
Now, a lot of people are criticizing the senator, Mally. Why do you think he didn't ask Abrego Garcia if he had any gang relations?
I don't know why he chose to not ask him that question, but what I can say is this. We are not even 100 days in to the Trump administration's second term, and we see that his administration's lawlessness knows no bounds. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled unanimously that Mr. Garcia needs to be returned, and the Trump administration has not done anything to facilitate this return. We see that he has even suggested that we should send American citizens to El Salvador. You know it's bad when the National Review, the leading conservative intellectual magazine, has said that what the Trump administration here is doing is unlawful and that his contention that we have no power to work with the El Salvador government to get folks back is ridiculous. Lastly, I would say we have seen the Trump administration take a whole-of-government approach to retribution and attacking his allies. You have a sitting U.S. senator, a high-ranking sitting U.S. senator, and Senator Lisa Murkowski say she fears retribution for speaking out. We've got to stand up to Trump's mob-like tactics here.
Mally, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. Janelle, do you want to respond very quickly before I move on?
Yeah, I just wanted to note that I think there's a severe disconnect between what the Democrats are saying and what's happening on the ground. I think they're forgetting the fact that these people that they're asking to be sent back into neighborhoods, they're not asking them to come into their neighborhoods. They're asking them to come into other people's neighborhoods. And these are the same people who have already had to live with many of these migrants, many of these crimes and these criminals. So they don't want them back in their neighborhood. I just think the Democrat Party needs to pay attention to what the people are saying.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.